Alright guys, today what we're going to be looking at is more exponent properties. So last time I saw you, we looked at what happens when we divide and multiply bases and what we do with their exponents. Now what we're going to do is we are going to look at when we have like a power to a power. So for instance, if we look at a basic example, if we have x to the second power to the fifth power, this is a power to a power. What this is essentially saying is x squared times x squared times x squared times x squared times x squared. Okay? And if we were to break that down even more, you would have 10 x's lined up in a row. But since we looked at last lesson, when we're multiplying things, all we do is add the exponents. This would give me x to the 10th power. So what we did here is all we do is when we have a power to a power is we multiply those numbers to get x to the 10th power. It's a shortcut. So let's go ahead and look at our first example. We have a lot of stuff here. And whenever I have a power with parentheses, I'm going to distribute it to each and every thing on the outside. So this is saying -3 to the 4th power, r to the 4th power to the 4th power. So I'm just going to treat this like a regular number. I'm going to have -3 to the 4th power. So -3 times -3 times -3 times -3. A negative times a negative is a positive, and 3 times 3 is 9. 3 times 3 is 9, and 9 times 9 is 81. Okay? So now I'm going to focus on this part. When I have a power to a power, what I'm going to do is multiply. That is going to give me r to the 16th power. Now I'm going to look at here. There's just an r here. I'm going to have a power to a power, so I'm going to multiply to get r to the 10th power. Now we go back to yesterday's lesson when I am multiplying two bases, multiplying two exponents with the same base. What I'm going to end up doing is just adding the exponents. This is going to give me 81 r to the 26th power. All right. So now this one looks like a lot of stuff, but we're just going to break it down step by step and see what we can do here. First thing what I want to do is see if I can simplify these numbers. Can I simplify 48 over 12? And yes, I can. 48 over 12 is just 4. Then I have z to the second all over z to the second. Since I'm dividing, I subtract these, and I'm just going to get z to the 0. So they cancel. They go away. Now I have y to the third divided by y to the first. I have more y's on top, and when I subtract those, I'm going to have y to the second power. Similar, I have x to the fourth divided by x to the first. I'm going to subtract those exponents to get x to the third. And then finally, I have x to the fifth divided by x to the third. I'm also going to subtract those to get r to the second power. So I actually don't have a denominator with any variables in there. Okay, so this one looks tricky because I have a power to a power to a power. Okay, so all we're going to do here, I work from the inside out with this distribution. So I'm going to have a to the 3rd power to the 10th power. I'm going to multiply those. This is going to give me a to the 30th power. Now I still have the brackets with the 5 here. So I'm going to distribute that there to get a to the 150th power. Okay. I worked from the inside out. You can also work your way from the outside in. 5 times 10 is 50. 50 times 3 is 150. Doesn't matter either way, you'll get the same answer. Okay, so let's go and look at this one. We have a lot of stuff going on here, and it's a little tricky. We still have to follow our orders of operations. So I look inside the parentheses of both of these and see, is there anything I can reduce? And there is. Not on this one stays the same, but on the second one, I have 1a on the top, 2 a's on the bottom. So that means if I subtract these, I'm going to have 1 left over on the bottom. So this is going to be 6b to the 3rd all over a. And I still have the second power. And then I have 3a to the 4th all over b. So the second thing that I'm going to do is after parentheses, I move on to exponents. Please don't multiply first, you will get the wrong answer. So what we need to do now is I need to distribute this 2 to each and every term inside, each and every number and variable. So I'm going to have 6 to the second power b to the third power to the second power, and a to the second power. This is going to simplify to 36 b to the sixth power, because we are multiplying 3 times 2 is 6, all over a to the second power. And now I'm going to multiply that to the 3a to the fourth all over b. This would give me 36 times 3 is 108. So 3 times 36 is 108. And a to the fourth, I can't multiply that with anything, and b to the sixth. All over a to the second b. So now I'm just going to go ahead and reduce these to get 108 a to the second b to the fifth. And I got that by multiplying those, by subtracting those values. All right, so let's go ahead now and look at this one. What we are going to do is I am going to see if can I combine anything inside the parentheses. And I can. The first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to do 4 times 3. 4 times 3 is 12, and then I'm still going to have a to the third, b to the seventh, all to the second power. I'm now going to distribute that second power to everything on the inside. 12 to the second power is 144. A to the third to the second power is a to the sixth. And b to the seventh power to the second power is b to the 14th. All right. This is a 14. Okay. So now we're going to look at one more of these. I have 4z to the fifth, 2y to the seventh, 3z to the fifth y. So first thing, what I'm always going to do is just treat the numbers just like regular old numbers. So I'm going to do 4 times 2 times 3. 4 times 2 is 8. 8 times 3 is 24. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to look for other variables that are the same. I have z to the fifth and z to the fifth. When I combine those, that's going to give me z to the 10th. And then I'm going to look at my y's. I have y to the seventh and y to the first. When I combine those, that's going to give me y to the 8th. All right. So that's all for this video. If you have any questions, please feel free to email me or your teacher.